It never worked again. I was like, I'm
Okay.
watching you live right now. What are you talking about?
We're live, Paul. Why you talk crap?
We're live. We're live. We're back. Sorry, everyone. It's not me, according to the what episode was that. I
I don't
didn't do it.
know. We took a vote, and I think everybody agrees it was you because they were like, wait, we got a home theater podcast with a guy that has no home theater, and they canceled you. That was what the chat
Absolutely.
was saying.
No,
No,
I've
that
had a living room home theater for quite some time, but no, sorry about that, guys, gals, whoever's in the stream. Appreciate you coming back. Ike had a lightning strike at his house. He had a storm. He's got a storm coming through. So apologies, everyone. So Giles, we were talking about your setup at your house. How you have like the speakers, the huge Stark
Yeah,
speakers hanging.
the 800,000-pound ones with the full metal plate on the front that I'm scared will one day, as we're watching a movie, come falling down, and there'll be this tragic story on the news: family killed by freak home theater accident.
Yeah, no, I can definitely appreciate all the hard work that you put into your theater. You've definitely. I definitely watched your journey as as you were doing it, and thank you for sharing it. Those that haven't checked out Giles' channel, Giles, tell them how they can reach out to you.
Well, one of two ways. YouTube, I'm at Giles McCoy, so just search for the oddly spelled Giles. Usually spelled with a G, but I'm from Alabama, and I think my parents were, I don't know, in leveraging some special somethings when they were naming me. I'm not really sure, but they were like, we're going to use a J and make it weird, so when he grows up, nobody will know what to call him. But yeah, at Giles McCoy, and then everywhere else in the world is at the Giles McCoy. And you can find me all over the place. But my primary channel, my number one channel, is YouTube. And like I said before, I make content about entertainment technology for the most part. And sometimes I even go off and talk about stuff and get on my soapbox and just talk way too long, and people will let me know about it in the comments. But yeah, and always happy to take video requests too. So if you have anything you want to see or hear about, let me know. I can hook it up. And then for all of you guys, all of you guys, if you ever want to come on my live stream, I do a live stream on Tuesdays at 7 Mountain Time and cover mostly hi-fi and home theater related topics, sometimes other stuff, but I'm always looking for co-hosts. So if you guys are ever just bored and I want to stream, I got to get out there, let me know, and I will almost every episode have a industry guest of some kind, whether it's SVS or Klipsch or hi-fi brands or whoever it might be, right? Almost always have a industry guest on as well.
Yeah. No, thanks for that invitation. I'll definitely have to take you up on that sometime. Really appreciate you jumping on our stream. Like I said, we got a celebrity in the house. Those of you that are just joining back, you didn't miss much other than the fact that it wasn't me messing up the stream this time. So it
was crazy. Did we lose Paul there?
We might have lost Paul. I'm not sure. But Ike was having some a storm come through the area where he's at in Dallas, and it knocked the whole stream out, his internet and everything else. So we were frantically scrambling. So we now learned that we have to have a backup system. So
yes,
as you guys know, this we're not very professional at this. So we just fly by the seat of our pants on all of this. So, but
even if they're pajama pants,
those are the best kind.
This is why I'm glad I have a UPS on my rack.
Yeah, I don't even think my UPS would have saved me on that one, man. That thing the lightning strike was so loud. I heard I literally shook. I was like, what is going on?
Well, I'm just glad you got the internet back, because I was trying to fire up StreamYard and it was telling me that I had a 6-digit code emailed to my email that I wasn't receiving. So glad to be back. Glad to get the show going again. But
Hey,
So Mitch,
it was the JVC gods, man. You guys are just a bunch of.
Yeah, you got attention to someone. Yeah, they got the button somewhere.
Oh man.
that is too funny. So Mitch, give us a little bit about yourself. I know you briefly recently talked about, just some of your career. How did you get into the home theater platform or hobby? What drew you to that? How did you get started in this?
Oh man, that was a long time ago. So I've been into audio my whole life. My dad put a pretty killer car stereo in his '89 Buick Century back in the '90s. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Audio King, Ultimate Electronics, but he would go up there, and that car was constantly in the shop. But he had two 15s in the trunk, a motorized amp rack. The amps were painted white with the purple light shining on them, so the amp rack would raise so you can get to the spare tire. He had a couple of caps in there. 10-inch mids in the floor, waveguide horn tweeters underneath the dash with the symmetry system. It was quite something. Each channel had its own amp, and that was back in the '90s. So that's kind of what got me into audio. I'd always kind of build speakers out of his old car speakers. I'd throw them in like a milk carton or some cardboard box or whatever when I was young. Always had a passion for music, so have always wanted to have a stereo system. And then my uncle, back in the late '90s, he got a surround sound system for the first time with Miller and Kreisel speakers, and I heard that, and I'm like, wow, I've never heard movies this way before. So, from that point on, I've always been interested in home cinema and that sort of thing. And just systems grow over time. To what I have now and what I'll show. I mean, I don't have, for what some of these guys do, but it's definitely grown over the years.
As long as you enjoy your system, that's all that really matters. If you're the one that has to enjoy it. You don't need to impress anyone else. Like I said, we want all types of theaters on here, whether it's a living room theater, a spare bedroom that you converted over to a theater, or even just your standard den or whatever you're using for your theater. However you enjoy this hobby, we embrace it all. So we thank you for joining the show. So as far as your theater, give us before we get into the theater tour and stuff, give us a little bit about the dimensions and where it's at in your house and the location of it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so right now it's in kind of a sunken living room that's broken off to the kitchen and dining room area in the house. It's definitely open to the whole house. My next home, I'm definitely going to build something dedicated. But right now, the space is probably 11 and a half feet wide by 19 feet deep. And then the back is open to the rest of the house. So not huge, but it definitely works for the space.
I see. And are you a family man? Are you married, or are you single?
I've got a girlfriend living with me right now. It's just the two of us.
So you got the girlfriend acceptance factor for a living room theater. You're gonna have to explain how you achieve that.
Well, she has to be okay with it. My house.
Yeah, that's the difference between the girlfriend and the wife.
Yeah.
Dangerous waters right there.
Yeah, no.
Or I can find somebody who is accepting of it, but no, she's pretty cool. She's accepting of what I like to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome to have a good partner like that supports you in in your hobbies. So
wouldn't want to have it any other way.
So you talked about car audio. What you mentioned, we mentioned M-Wave a little bit ago. What was your experience? What did you go to both M-Waves, and what experience did you gain out of those, or what did you enjoy most out of that?
I did. Yeah. The first M Wave was quite a bit smaller, a little more intimate setting. That was really cool, actually. Um, that one, I don't know if you went to the first one or not, but that one we kind of had a couple of groups and we just rotated to different areas. There was a room correction demo comparison. There was a screen projection, a projector comparison, which was really eye opening for a lot of people, especially when they put up the masking. Um, we got to hear some, really nice set of Neolith speakers and a few other things that I hadn't got a chance to hear before. Really, really nice atmosphere. Last year was definitely quite a bit bigger, more people. I didn't even get to see quite everything that I wanted to, just due to time. Um, it didn't feel quite as intimate, but it was still a good time. You get to, in that case, you could roam around to the different rooms and kind of choose your own thing at that point. And it looks like for this year, it's going to be basically the same thing, just more vendors yet. So yeah, it was fun. I would definitely recommend anybody to go and do that.
So, what type of experience did you? So, when you went to M Wave the first time, was your theater already built then?
It was, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty much maxed out on the space right now. I can't. It's been a few years since I've done anything. I think the latest addition was a few more acoustic panels, but I've kind of maxed out the space for what I can do in this area.
Okay, I understand. So even though your theater was done, you still chose to go to M Wave. Were you looking for the upgrade path, or what did you have?
Just the
Discounting or-
different experiences, really. So I wanted to hear different systems. I wanted the camaraderie of all the people. Experience different things. So just because I'm not always content with what I have, I like to hear all the different stuff and kind of compare and contrast, that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, it's always about kind of comparing what you've got to others and other equipment and seeing what you might want to strive to get towards.
Yeah, yeah. From what I understand, I think like you said, the first M Wave was a little bit more intimate. I think there was more people gathered together rather than being spread out
Hmm.
throughout the
Yeah.
room, which actually helped make that community that we're all trying to build, right? So, yes, the I went to the second version of M Wave, which was moved to the convention center. So
Hmm.
unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the first one. I really, really, really wanted to go, and
Did you make it to the movie? A bunch of us went to the Mission Impossible movie.
no, I didn't get to go to the movie either. So I wound up coming there late on. I think it was Thursday. I got there a little bit later than I wanted, and then I did stay till Sunday till they started packing up, and then I had to leave. But no, I didn't know about the movie until after it was already done. I wasn't part of the Discord. Excuse me, 1 second. So yeah, I mean the actual show itself, the second one with the rooms broken up. Did you like that setup, or did you like the first iteration of M Wave?
It's uh, it's kind of a mix. There's some things that I like better about the first one, but then there's also some things I like better about the second one. Obviously, there was a lot more things to look at and do at the second one than there was the first one. But I felt that, like, the time thing, basically, I felt that there wasn't necessarily enough time to experience all of the different rooms. So they had seminars too. So if you did all of the seminars or the ones you cared about, that also took away time that you could spend in one of the experience rooms.
Right. Yeah. So when did you? I believe it starts on what, Friday morning and ends on Sunday. Correct.
Correct. Yep.
So
Yep.
when did you attend all 3 days?
I did. Yes. Yep. I didn't get a VIP ticket or anything like that. I just got the standard ticket.
Yeah, I kind of found the same thing that you did. It was, you know, with trying to chat with everybody, and get to know other people and everything else.
Yeah, the more people that there are, I feel like a little more challenging it is to get to know more people, at least for me.
Right, absolutely, yeah. No, the experience is fantastic. It is something that it doesn't seem like that. It's not like a CDO or a Florida Audio Expo to where there's 200 rooms or anything like that. But you are sitting down looking at demo content for 15 and 20 minutes per room, or they're doing a full blind speaker test, right? Or a blind speaker show to where you're trying to pick out the best sounding speaker to you, and that's 20 or 30 minutes at a clip. So time does get eaten up a lot faster than you anticipate.
I will say this: there was one of the things they did at the first M Wave that they did at the second one as well is the room correction demos. At the first M Wave, there was quite the difference between the different room correction softwares, Odyssey, Dirac, and a few others in there as well. Pretty much everybody didn't like the Odyssey experience at the first M Wave. However, the second one, last year's M Wave, everything was much closer. It was a lot harder to tell the difference between the different room correction systems.
Yep, and I don't think they had Dirac this time at that one.
I thought that they did. There was definitely a Storm processor there, and it was running ART.
Yeah,
it was running ART.
Yeah, not the Dirac.
Yeah. So, Mitch, do you want to get started with the tour? I honestly don't trust this Texas weather right now.
Yeah, I can certainly do that. If I flip my screen, it probably will kick me off.
That's fine.
So
you can reconnect and then
here.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
I'll
Just
work with
song
what
and
I've got
dance
here.
until you get back.
All right.
So while Mitch is setting that up, Mr. Joseph Symphonic Hi-Fi, what do you got coming up on your channel? What are you working on over there?
I'm actually maybe going in the opposite direction, sort of like take a step back, make 2 steps forward kind of thing. I contemplated getting rid of almost all of my hi-fi gear. Here's the reason being, something I just experienced recently. My Denon X6700H had a power relay problem where in eco mode it would work, but in regular mode it didn't work. I don't know why. You would turn it on and off and the sound would come on and off. Sent it for repair under warranty. It's now back in the apartment, back in the system. It's basically 11 channel, no subs, all monolith speakers, Encore series, height channel, all that. So for 2 weeks, I was basically gaming with a headset or through my TV. And I have to admit to myself that I almost didn't really miss the surround sound. You can tell I'm not a theater person.
Hey, Mitch, are you ready for us? Sorry to cut you off, Kinger.
I am ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see I can see your carpet, and we can see
you can see my floor. All right.
Yes.
We'll just see about how this works here.
Okay.
So I've got a 120-inch 16:9 screen from. Why am I losing my train of thought today? It's the guys up in Ames, Iowa. Why can't I hear them?
We
huh?
You got Seymour. You got
see, that's it. Seymour. Yep, I've got the Seymour Glacier White screen here, and I've got B&W 702 Series 2 towers, left and right, and the matching center channel here, which might be a little hard to see because I've got all this Joanne fabric, black velvet going everywhere. So I've got the black velvet on the walls and on the ceiling, going all the way across here, so it looks kind of like a black hole. It definitely enhances the contrast and minimizes the light reflection off the walls and ceiling. So I've got lights behind the speakers. They're just Philips Hue multicolor lights. So that is the front. Hopefully everybody can see that. I've got panels on the ceiling here.
Yep, we see that.
And panels on the wall. They're all GIK acoustic panels. These are nice, thick boys. So we'll go into the rack here. I've got a Marantz 7011 AVR. There's a, oh, how come it's sideways again? Come on.
Auto rotation.
Okay, it's yeah.
No, it's not doing that on
Okay,
my
it's
end.
back. It's back now. It looks good now.
Okay. All right. So I've got a Sonos on top of that. Sonos Connect. That's an old one. On top, I've got the Oppo 203.
Nice.
And there's a TiVo Mini in there, an NVIDIA Shield that you really can't see. I need to get a light. And then there's an Apple TV 4K. And then this side, it's got a, you know, your Monster Power Center, my APC battery backup, and an Emotiva XPA 3 Gen 3 to run the front three. And the AVR runs the other channels. All right. So from this side, that's kind of what that looks like. It's a 7.1.4 setup. So I've got the Atmos ceilings on the speaker, on the Atmos speakers on the ceiling. Those are DefTech outdoor speakers. They're aimable. Sounds decent. And then I've got the CM series for the side surrounds, but they have the matching tweeter to the tweeter was replaced with the matching one that's in the 702s. And right now, these are the 686 series B&Ws. However, those are going to be replaced with an identical pair of these that I'll probably get from a friend of mine who lives locally. And the subwoofer is a Rhythmic 15-inch high power sub. So, and then everything is run by Roomy Remote on an iPad mini here. So this is pretty cool. I can just kind of, you know, choose my activity. I used to run the Harmony stuff, but I don't like infrared because it's not reliable. If you want to hand it to your spouse or to your grandparents or whatever, you know, they don't know to hold the remote there while it sends all its commands. You know, they just press the button to do whatever and set the remote down, and half the commands don't get sent. So I like IP control when possible. So you have all the selections here for what you want to watch, and it just goes right to it.
So is this like is this like a DIY, or how does that work? What did you call it?
Yeah,
again?
so this app is called Roomy Remote. It's on iOS. It's not on Android, but it is on iOS. So I've got all the different rooms in the house. So the master bedroom, I've got a SVS theater system in the master bedroom with a 77-inch OLED. And then the basement has my office has a 2-channel setup for listening to music, but there's also a PlayStation and stuff down there.
So what would the level of, I guess, expertise that you would need to set this up? Because I saw that Shane Lee was running this a while back, but I never really dove into it.
So it definitely takes some getting used to at first. I've been messing with it for quite a while now, so I'm kind of used to how it works. But if you're new to it, there's definitely a learning curve to it. Now, it does build a lot of stuff automatically once you get all your devices imported into it. So if I go to my devices here, a lot of it's scanned on the network and found automatically. But and then it'll automatically build some activities, but I like to customize how all that works. So a lot of this is also pulling in HomeKit data. So I run a home automation here as well. Most of everything is run off a Home Assistant, and then I have that imported into HomeKit. So, and then this will read the HomeKit data basically. So I can control the thermostat. I can control, my water heater, I guess, as well. The lighting and the curtains behind me. So when I press this movie start button, that's what that's going to do is lower the lighting in here. It's going to set the volume on the AVR to usually what I listen at -10. And then it's also going to draw, because this room is shared. So the kitchen is in there, dining room, and then the living room there. So it's a shared space. And obviously, it needs to be dark in here for this to be optimal. So I have this curtain here, and it's on a track system that runs across.
Oh, nice.
And I've got an Aqara curtain bot on the back side of this. Let's see if you can see it. So, kind of see it there.
Yeah.
So what this will do is when I press that button, it'll just motorize and shut the curtain all the way to the end here.
That's actually a
So
cool idea. I was looking, so that just hooks on the one side of the curtain, and it goes by itself. Battery powered? Is it?
It is battery. Yeah, there's a lithium ion battery in there that you can charge it. I've got a USB C cable hanging here, going down to a charger when I need to charge it, which isn't very often. So you can kind of, it's hard to see. It's dark in here. But yeah, this will just draw across here.
Very nice. I was thinking about, because I'm not sure if you saw any previous episodes, but I know that I wanted to do like the first 5 or 8 feet of my theater in like a dark velvet or a black velvet or a Guilford of Maine, and I have 2 doors that are going to swing open next to the screen on each side. So I thought about making some kind of automated system, kind of like that, to where the doors would swing open and some curtains would roll out. So that if you get a chance, if you could show us that series, of how it all comes together, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I can show you that. If you want me to, I can hit the button here and you can watch it go. So if I do, well, it's going to turn the lights out, but I can demonstrate the curtain part. So if I do this, you'll hear it, and there it goes.
Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Is that just that'll fit in any like track, or is that specific?
Yeah, so I've got a U-track system here, but you can get, there's a couple of different kinds of tracks you can get for that.
Yeah, that's cool. I really like that
and
idea.
It goes across and it makes this room dark.
I should.
So I had to make a cutout for the stairs here. So I just kind of, took some scissors and cut that down, and I had to cut a hole for the return vent because that's right there, and I wanted the airflow.
That's important.
Watch a movie and suffocate.
That goes. So it goes. It's so hard to see. I need light. But it goes down about that low to the ground.
That's a very nice addition. What you did there, I like.
I should just use my phone and use the flashlight. So you can kind of see it's got these hooks that I put in there.
Nice.
So I put each one of those in there because I didn't like the large hooks, the big circles down here. What this curtain came with originally.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. It's way too big, and I didn't like that. So I kind of folded it over and did that myself, and then just kind of every other one, so that I still get some light seeping through here, but it's much, much, much better. It's much more watchable when you've got the screen on. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like that, and it seems like it's a doable DIY type of
yeah,
situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
it's
if
all
you
it's
don't,
all integrated into Home Assistant and HomeKit.
cool. And how much is one of those, if you don't mind me asking, one of those, motorized
The curtain
curtain?
bot.
Yeah, the
I think
curtain.
that curtain bot was like $60. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
If
for
you
what
look
it
at
does.
Aqara,
Yeah.
Aqara has a bunch of inexpensive HomeKit devices. I mean, they also work with Google and Amazon, the whole outfit. This whole house works with Google, Amazon, and Siri. I've got one of each because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to primarily use. So I've got an Amazon Echo, I've got a Google Home, and I've got a HomePod Mini in each room.
Yeah,
Do
that's
they ever
nice.
argue with each other?
Occasionally, yes.
I'm gonna do the
So-
lights. No, I'm gonna do the lights.
Yeah, most
Yep.
of this I control with the iPad here.
Nice.
I had to get a smart. So the subwoofer itself, it's not one that has a built-in trigger, so I had to make one. And
Yeah.
what I did for that, here's my phone. Again, I wish I had better lighting, but this is a theater after all. So I don't know if we can see down in there. But right there, that particular power strip, I don't know if you can kind of see that,
Mm-hmm.
has a 12-volt trigger adapter on it. So I
Oh,
ran
wow.
a cable from that to the back of my AV receiver, and that trips the power on that on a particular outlet on there.
Oh wow.
And that's what trips the sub on and off. Because I mean, I don't need it to sit here and suck any more power than it needs to.
Uh-huh.
I know it probably doesn't sip that much power here at idle, but every last watt kind of counts, especially when you have a whole bunch of crap in your house that uses power.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Smart.
inventive there. I didn't even know that they made a power strip that took the trigger wire like that.
Yeah.
I'd like a
So
remote
I've
trigger
got
for my
a
power
rack
amp
in the
too.
storage room with a server on it. And I've got 32 terabytes of drive space in that, redundant. Like I said, I'm in IT, so I have the whole house is wired.
Yeah, there's
I've got
some UPS have basically like a auto turn on. You can have some of them program where once your amp turns on, it'll turn on outlets that you program, and that's like a default in some. I wouldn't probably do that on a subwoofer though, but
I've
for some
got
other stuff. Oh, yep, you got
these
the
are
old
the
ubiquity
6E.
Unify.
These are the 6E Enterprise ones. I've got one there, and then I've got one
That's what I've got. The same ones.
at the top of the stairs there. And with
Yep.
my iPhone, the 15 has Wi-Fi 6E. I can pull 900 megs over Wi-Fi. That's crazy.
That is. See, I got those same ones, and I don't know what I can stand
Well,
right
your phone
underneath.
has to support Wi-Fi 6E, the 6 gigahertz band.
Yeah, I've got the
And
15.
the iPhone 15 does.
Yeah.
And I've got MetroNet. It's a gigabit symmetrical fiber here. I just got that installed last October. It's pretty
cool.
wicked fast.
You're loving that. Yeah.
Used to have cable, so
Yes. Yeah.
So how many subwoofers do you have in the room?
right now just the one, but it fills the space pretty decently. In fact, the across on the other side of that wall is about 10 feet, and then there's another house. I'm in a typical neighborhood with a bunch of cookie cutter homes from the late 90s. That single 15-inch sub has definitely shaken the dishes of my neighbor's house.
Oh
Wow.
I have been told to turn it down before.
That's crazy. Yep.
It is.
joining?
And here I am wanting to get JTR subs in here.
Oh, yeah.
So are you
Yeah, I
doing
like this. I like
adjoining?
everything about it. I like the black lower part of your screen that makes that really gives it that theater. And I see like you have bass traps up front as
Yeah,
well.
so
It's a cool treat.
those tri traps and then these panels here, these particular color ones, those I bought off of a local forum guy maybe a
Nice.
year or two ago, and then these used to be on the side walls, and I just moved them to the ceiling.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah,
it,
I've
it
checked
sounds
it out.
pretty good in here.
Yeah, you got things well treated compared to most. You got it treated better than I do. So,
Well, that part's treated, and I've got one over there, and I can't really do a whole bunch here because there's a giant
yeah,
window, um, and then a door, and then obviously that's to the rest of the house. But
yeah.
yeah,
So I'm sorry if I'm repeating this, but I had to step away to grab a cough drop real quick. What processor or AVR are you running?
it's a Marantz SR7011, a little bit older.
Okay. And any external amplifiers for that?
Yep, the Emotiva XPA 3 Gen 3 for the front, 3 speakers. So,
Yeah, and
in case you
honestly,
didn't
I
get a
mean,
chance to see it, I'll show it off again.
yeah, that's like almost all you need really for that.
For this size room, yeah.
Yeah, for that, even though it is pretty deep, overall, and that's probably more your bass that you have to tune, but
So
uh,
I put a cooling system in here too. On each side of this, there's a 120 millimeter fan. So there's one over here, there's one in the middle, and then there's one over there. It just draws air all the way across. There's a smart outlet in there that turns on the fans when the amplifier's on, and then when the amp's off, it'll turn off the smart switch, which will turn off the fans. So there's you can't see it, but on the side of the cabinet, there's vent slots. So, and then I had extra of this black velvet stuff, so I put that on the back side of this door because when you're watching a movie, all these lights shine through. I didn't want that distracting me, so I put that black fabric there, but I left some space at the bottom so it can still suck air through.
Yeah,
So
you can get some like velvet stickers, right? And just stick it across the light. That's what I did for mine. They have like those sticky, and you can just cut them to the exact shape of what you want to cover.
now are
And
they
that would
cheap or are
be
they
that
and
would
static?
be the
just
nice way to do things, but that's a lot of lights to cover, and I was lazy and had extra material, so I'm like, I'll just chip clip these up here.
Yeah,
yeah, as long as you do have the fans there and they do what they're supposed to do, so that's always good.
yeah.
Oh, and I guess we didn't even talk about the projector.
Yeah,
So the
I was waiting for you
projector,
to get there. Yeah.
yeah. So the projector is a JVC NX7. I would
Nice.
really like to have the NZ series, but this is expensive enough.
Yeah, you have a good projector there. I think even if you go to the NZ series, right? If you're not going to like the NZ8, you're probably not, except maybe for the laser, right? Because I think the NX is a
Yeah,
bulb, it's still bulb, right? But if you do NX7 to NZ7, I don't think it's not that much of an upgrade,
it,
except for
it
the
isn't
laser.
that much of a difference. I've seen them side by side, but I do like the fact that the lasers turn on quite a
Yeah,
bit quicker.
yeah, I like
So
that. Yeah,
I'm
that's
already at a little over 900 hours on this bulb, so I'm going to need to replace it in the not too distant future.
So how far back is your seating from the screen?
This is about 14 feet,
About 14
which
feet. And then what about
is,
your projector?
yeah,
What's your distance?
what's that?
Your projector, what's your throw distance?
14.
So
It's
it's right
pretty
above
much right. It's pretty much right above my head. Yeah, if I aim up, it's
Yeah, so I
Okay,
mean,
please.
honestly, with that projector being that close, I don't know that that you would benefit, like Ike was saying, unless you go to the NZ8 or NZ9 for the extra lumen output. Because your throw distance is fairly close compared to most. So,
I wish
you
my
know,
seating was a little bit closer, but I would have to. My seats already come up to here, and I just don't have the space to do that.
I mean,
It's a good distance, man.
yeah, 14
It,
feet.
yeah, for the
Yep,
JVC,
that's exactly where I sit. Yeah.
that's a good distance.
Personally, I'd like to be at about 10 feet from that screen. It doesn't feel, I wish I had a bit wider field of view, but that's about as big as I can go on the wall. So you can see that the bottom of the screen comes right to the top of that center when I'm seated down, and it's maybe an inch from the ceiling. You can't really tell because of the black velvet, but it's about as big as you can get.
Yeah, with you having that black bottom like that, it reminds me so much of my Mitsubishi rear projection TV that I had.
I
It
was going to say the
Yeah.
same thing. It looks like a Mitsubishi. It looks
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. Well, if I
I can
didn't have
see that.
those tri-traps in there, it would look a little bit different. But they were the color that it was, so I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, this is fun. This is fantastic. I really like your setup. The seven. You said they're the 701s or 702s.
Those are 702 Series 2. They just came out with the 702 Series 3 not that long ago.
And are those like a maple color, or what's the finish?
They are the maple color.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, everything in here looks really amazing.
I love the design of these.
It looks like a
Pretty
rosewood.
slick. Yeah.
Those B&Ws sound phenomenal. I demoed them at Best Buy along with my Martin Logans.
Well, my Basement 2 channel setup has 802Ds, but they are from about 15 years ago. They look similar to this.
And I think this is probably the best color that they have that I like out of all the
dark red.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's probably the best
I really
one.
like this color. Yeah.
Yep. Looks really good.
Yeah, John Anthony, who's on here regularly, he's a big B&W fan also. I think he's a set of the 802s also.
Yeah, they're nice.
So what's your favorite demo to track to crank the speakers up?
That just depends. Kong Skull Island is pretty good. Top Gun Maverick, obviously. And a few others. I don't get a chance to watch movies as much as I used to, just because I'm busier now. But
do you do any digital media, as far as like Kaleidoscape or Zedo?
I wish I could afford a Kaleidoscape.
Oh, Plex, any of those?
This is all
Plex
my
or
movies are ripped to my file server, and then it's just streamed to Plex on my NVIDIA Shield, so I can get the true HD and Atmos.
Oh, nice.
So the Apple TV 4K is for everything else. So your HBOs, Netflixes, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And it's just a tap of the button there, so I really don't have to see the interface. I just pick whatever I want. So if I hit Watch Plex, it'll turn it on to the NVIDIA Shield, and it'll open the Plex app. So I don't have to do anything. Same with the Netflix app. It just opens
that's the Roomy remote app, and how much does that cost? Is it?
So,
or is that a subscription?
I bought it when it was a lifetime. So I think I paid maybe $150 for a lifetime license. The price has gone up a little bit, but you can get it as a subscription for quite a bit less than that. Maybe.
Okay, so you can do either.
I forget what it is. Yeah, you could either subscribe. They kind of prefer you to subscribe to it. But I've got Rune as well. So if I go to my activities here, and let's say my watch Netflix setup, and then you can see kind of what it's doing. So on start, it is doing all this kind of stuff here. Well, that's hard to film, and there we go. So it sets sets the display, and then here's the application launch command. So for the Apple TV, you can put in the actual name of the application and just do a direct launch, which is pretty cool. And then it'll turn on the cooling fans in the rack too.
Man, I bought a tablet to start doing the home assistant stuff, and I just put it to the side after a couple of days. It's a lot
Yeah,
of
Home
work.
Assistant is a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah, if you have a lot of gear and all that kind of stuff, I wish you could just export your settings like that so that somebody can kind of modify it and try to replicate it, but I don't know why they don't do that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So is that
Horrible.
ROMIE remote? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rumi.
Rumi.
I put it in the
Yep.
chat earlier on.
And it's also got my security cameras in here, which is pretty cool. So I can see my garage, the rest of the
Wow. I
house.
didn't know it did all that. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So I can click on one of these here and go larger, I guess. So there was a funny story. Halloween, I was we had a basket of candy out on the front step on Halloween for Beggars Night, and I was sitting in here watching some TV, and I thought, I'd just leave the camera feed up here so I can watch as the kids come up and grab candy. And I'm going to lose my headphones here. And I at the last, I want to say right before it ended, I saw a kid come up and steal the whole bag of candy, the whole thing of candy.
That's
So
funny.
that was fun.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in learning more about that. I purchased a Control 4 system, but I'm not too big into the whole home automation thing, so I don't know if that's something that I need to dive more into to set all
So it
this.
also does an intercom thing as well. If you're
Yeah,
into
that's
that.
pretty cool. I like that.
I want to do mine because I already bought a tablet for it, already bought a wall mount for it. But I started looking into the Home Assistant. Eric has a really good setup like that, but it's, even with my IT and everything, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. Where's my Harmony remote? So it was just a lot
Yeah,
easier.
it's
But
fun, but I mean it's nice because it makes it easy not only for me but for guests. So you press the movie start, but you choose your activity, and then once you're in what you're in, you just hit movie start. It'll turn the lights off, close the curtain, set the volume, that sort of thing. And then obviously I have kitchen break and bathroom break on there that will raise the lights in the appropriate area. So bathroom break will obviously raise the light over here because there's a bathroom on the right. And then kitchen break will open the curtain a little bit and will raise the lights in the kitchen.
that
And
is
then I
cool,
come back
man.
down and press the button again, and it reverses the curtain, turns off the kitchen lights, or if I'm in the bathroom, it'll just turn off the lights over there.
Now, on your Plex, will it actually allow you to select the movie that you want to watch from there?
It does, actually. So there's a media guide in this, and I think I have to be in an activity to do so, but that's not a big deal. We'll just start it here a second.
It works with Kaleidoscope
So if
too.
you-
It's a native
Yep.
application.
So if you tap
That's-
on that,
But now I got to go get an iPad, right, just to use it.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, there used to be a media guide. for that.
The interface looks very clean, man.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with a whole bunch of buttons by default, but I got rid of all the crap that I don't need. And then there's the drawer here. So if you click on the logo, it will, well, I don't have anything there, but the Marantz one will expand so I can, hit info and see my on-screen display,
Oh,
that
wow.
sort of thing. But it's nice to have the volume here, and if there's Atmos playing, I can see it right there. It'll say Atmos.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Did you say you
Yeah.
live in Texas so you can come do mine?
Does
Happy
this
to help
work
set
off
it up.
of
I've
yeah, web,
done it
well, like
enough
just
times.
web APIs, I'm assuming, for all the devices essentially, or so you can pretty much probably manually create some XML launch APIs or you could just launch a API code or something to it. I'm assuming if you wanted to create your own for devices that aren't listed, I'm assuming. Because a lot of
So
devices will list the
I need
information.
to reboot my Plex server. That's why it's not showing. So I've got a whole bunch of triangles there, and so I need to reboot my Plex server. But that's no big deal.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to do that for us. You can do that later.
So it just
But
it
I've
lists
got,
the poster art and stuff like that, or the list of movies and stuff like any other.
It does. So when something's
Yeah,
playing,
I
it
gotcha.
will have the artwork and the time left. So I was watching Succession before I came on the show. So you can see that's the last thing that I was watching, and it'll show it'll show the artwork and time remaining and all that kind of
Cool.
stuff.
That's
Man,
awesome.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's,
here's the media guides. So let's see. Will this guy's pull up?
Too bad I don't have an iPad. So,
Yeah.
I have a spare one laying around that I was going to just use to control, stuff like that.
you
But
could use it on that Apple 3D VR headset. I'm assuming. Just use that.
Oh, right.
It works with Zadoo as well. So
Yep, there's a lot of stuff that it works with,
like
and all the
like
different
default.
volumes and.
does it work with Arvolution?
Well, it works with Zapedi.
if it works as a PD, it should work
I'm
with
sure it
Arvolution.
will.
Yeah.
Don't know if it works with our Volution.
You can go to the touchpad display too if you prefer to swipe left and right, that sort of thing. I like the buttons myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
So then, if I tap on that, you get a little quick thing. So I can also, this is also on my Apple Watch, so I can control things from that.
That's
so
cheating.
this app is also on the watch. It's also all the stuff on the iPhone, as far as the shortcuts go, the widgets go, it's all on that. So
This is very interesting. I do like this remote here, and it's all done through Wi-Fi, or is that correct?
it doesn't have to be Wi-Fi, but just because the tablet's on Wi-Fi, I mean, I could plug an Ethernet adapter in there and it would work just the same. As long as you're on the same network is really the goal here.
But does it work with IR? I think is the question. Devices.
Yes, it does work with IR. So you can get these adapters, basically. They're Ethernet to IR, and I have one for the television in the basement because for in my office, because it's an older TV and it doesn't have a network connection. So it's basically a little adapter. It powers by USB, plugs into Ethernet, and it's got a wire for a IR repeater. And I just put a little blaster on my TV, and I can control it over IP now.
Nice. Yeah, see, that's cool.
It's pretty slick.
So we learned we love the theater. I love the sound treatment. Like that's a lot of people don't consider.
Oh, you've got to do.
Yeah,
you've
as
got to
much
do treatment for sure.
But the curtain thing, the auto curtain, that's pretty cool. And yeah, this I don't think anyone's seen, or at least I haven't seen this particular app in actual motion and had someone explain, the ease of use and
I've been
the
using it for a good
how
number of years now.
Yeah,
It
so
used to be called,
using it for quite some.
so it was Roomy, and then it was something else. Every time you go on live TV, you kind of lose your brain, but it was called something else, and then they went back to Roomy.
So so Mitch has got a tutorial out, $2.99, all proceeds.
I know,
Besides,
right?
yeah,
Nice.
right.
Sign me up. I'll pay.
no, this is fantastic. Thank you for going through this to that we can see this, because I mean this is basically like Control 4. I mean it's
And it doesn't cost you Control
On
4
the
either.
cheaper side, yep.
yeah, this is fantastic. So
And you don't have to wait for anybody to go in and fix something for you. So
that's true. Yeah, and I well, not unfortunately, but I spent the money for the Control 4 stuff too. So as soon as I get it all
I'd
hooked,
love to have Control 4, but my budget doesn't allow that.
yeah.
My budget allows what you see and
Well-
trying to pay off my house, and that's about it.
You know, I actually bought my controller used on eBay, so, and then I wound up buying the new, well, it's not the new Halo remote anymore, but it's the Neo remote that they had.
hmm
So I bought that. That was new. That was like $500 or $600 or whatever it was. But the actual player itself, or the adapter itself, I think I got it used on eBay for like $100, $200, something like that. So it wasn't very expensive to get into it. Now the portion that gets expensive is when you have to, hire somebody to do the programming for you, So, but yeah, that looks like a nice alternate solution. Even though I have the Control 4, I still may look at setting something like that up also.
yep.
Yeah,
So
this looks
give some more
really
people a
cool.
Yeah,
different view.
this is really good, man. It's
Yeah. And that is really nice, that drop down for that. Like, I've looked at a lot of houses like that, and I wanted to get more of an open concept, but as for this theater and that, it's really cool looking with
I'm
that.
kind of backing up so you can get a little perspective of what it looks like.
Yeah, that looks
and you can
nice.
just chill up there and just watch your movie or whatever. You don't even have to be on the seat. You can just relax
Yeah, if you
on
want
that
to
rail. Yeah.
get something, or
The
I would
kitchen
be
is
in
the
the
second
I would
row.
be in the kitchen there drinking.
Yeah,
Drinking
that's the
coffee.
second
So
row, the
I
whole room.
I did all the lighting in the
Oh,
kitchen
you got
here
LED
too.
in the kitchen too, man.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I've got an LED light strip down there that I built, running WLED. They're individually addressable, so you can do crazy things that you don't need to do. And I've got a Philips Hue underneath here. So this is a controller hub. It runs Roomy as well. That's all it does. But if I want to pull up a camera feed, I can do that.
Oh, nice.
And then the
What's that, a
Nest.
Mini?
What's that?
Is that an iPad
This
Mini?
is a full-size iPad. It's an older iPad. I just
Oh.
have it in a wall mount. So there is Philips Hue lighting underneath the cabinet, and then another custom LED strip on the top that connects to my Philips Hue hub. I think it's running GLED Opto or whatever is the controller. So these are all fully color changeable and all kinds of stuff. And
So who's
then
the green thumb?
these lights. Neither of us. We both kill plants. But she likes plants, and so they're all over the place.
Oh, that's why you have to keep buying as they die to make it look
Pretty
like,
much.
oh yeah, well yeah, we know what we're doing. And we just
And then
rotate.
on the outside of this window is my deck, and I've got a gazebo with lights, and I've got a couple Sonos One speakers mounted out there, so I can get. Basically, that's my whole house audio. So I've got there. and then the theater, and then the basement office has a 2-channel B&W setup, and then there's a couple of Sonos Play 5s on the table over here, and then the bedroom has SVS in just a 4.0 or 4.1 system in the bedroom with the 77-inch OLED. So I mean, I've got audio everywhere. We can.
So what was the
play stream it, whatever you want to
to do the sunken living room versus the basement for the theater?
Because the basement, the way they built this house, the basement is only half of a house. So this sunken area down here, beneath that is concrete. There's no basement underneath that. So the basement starts basically here and goes over, to that side of the kitchen to over there. And that's it. It's not very big.
I forgot what they call that, reverse split level, something like that.
I mean, I've been in this house since 2008.
Oh, this model is so popular in the Kansas City area.
Yeah, I have definitely outgrown it. I hate it. I want to move out so bad. But it's served me well. I'm ready to move on, but house prices are high, interest rates are high. I'm just trying to get this house paid off so that I can have more money to put down towards what I really want.
Yeah, wait to see what happens with the election, and maybe some rates will go down or something like that.
Yeah. But no, I've got motion sensors in all the bathrooms, so the lights turn on for me. But I also have motion sensors are one thing to have in a bathroom, but you need these types of things. Those are presence sensors. So it uses millimeter wave technology to sense the tiniest movements so that you don't have the problem of sitting on the toilet or in the shower and the lights turn out.
And the lights turn out.
Detect the fine movements. Who wants to sit on the toilet and have the lights
That's what I've got when I'm on the toilet. Fine movements. Fine movements.
I just don't need the light to be always on while
it looks like Govee actually makes those. Govee has those.
Well, when you have a significant other and they're in the bathroom and they're,
that's true.
Either curling their hair or whatever, just something where the movement isn't great enough for a regular motion sensor and the light turns off.
Yeah,
well, you hear about that.
Yeah. You hear loud and clear.
What you hear is, can we just get a regular switch, please?
Absolutely. And to that, I say no. I like my house automated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure that I would hear that too. Why do we have to live in the future? Just give me a switch from 1920.
But I also can keep an eye on the house that way. So I know exactly what's kind of going on. So the Home Assistant interface that I built is this. So I built that dashboard. So it shows me and her kind of where we are, our Wi-Fi, if we're on Wi-Fi, if we're on cellular, our battery levels, which I can automate off of the different rooms in the house. So I can go to the theater here, and I can control the lighting, the color of the lighting, the curtain. It'll show me information about what input
So 19 of the Home Theater Hub, Mitch will be going through how to step by step.
So here's another part of the dashboard. This is just server information, and then my security tab that I built. I've got all the camera feeds there, and then the kitchen. So here's all the motion sensors. And then I've got all the door and window sensors.
Wow.
So I can tell when stuff has happened. But I also like it so that, for example, when it starts getting nice out and I want to open the window, I have an automation set so that when the window opens for more than 10 seconds, it turns off the heat or the cool, because who the heck wants to cool or heat the outside? And then when you shut the window, it turns it back on to what it was.
Oh, wow.
So, and then recent motion events down there.
Homework on this automation stuff.
Wow.
This is
So
this is
what
pretty nice.
what code did you use to do your app or build it? How did you build your app? Like as far as the coding language, or did you use like a sandbox application to do all the um, interface and then just bring in all the APIs, or how did you do that?
He said his headset might be going out, so he might have lost us with the
Oh,
headset.
gotcha.
Yeah, Mitch, I think we lost you. Can you hear us?
I
He's
can
still
hear you.
talking.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Now
we
we
hear
can
you
now.
now.
We can now, yeah. Well,
Okay.
sort of.
So there we go. Yep. Okay. So I switched the microphone to the iPad mic since the headset batteries went out. So on my lighting tab, I can see how many lights are on, which lights are on, and I have it set so if the lights are a certain color, it displays that. And then, what switches are on and what fans are on, that sort of thing.
So, Paul, you had a question about how he built this.
Yeah, I was asking what language did you program this app, or did you have a sandbox application that you used to build it? And
So this is actually all done in the web interface of Home Assistant.
oh wow, no kidding, dang,
Yep, absolutely.
holy moly, huh?
And I wish I could show you, but it's not real easy to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, did you built it? You programmed it all? Like, did you program it on the phone, or did you program it on a computer and for the phone?
Oh, I did it on the computer for sure.
Okay,
That would take
okay,
way too
yeah.
long to do it on
I
the
was
phone.
gonna say, man, you're a glutton for punishment if you're doing that on a phone.
Oh,
So okay,
no.
so that's
wouldn't do that.
cool. So you still have to understand logic and code and all that, but they had if you're an engineer, it sounds like they have that sandbox for you where you can bring in
So
whatever code you want.
you
And
can do that. It's all based in YAML, so you can do that. But I'm not an expert coder or anything like that. I mean, I can dabble in PowerShell. And if I don't know how to write a particular piece of code, I just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, write me a PowerShell script that'll do this and that. Or you could do the same thing with an automation or YAML code. But really, all of this was built drag and drop in the user interface of Home Assistant.
That's amazing.
It takes some time, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah,
and I've got plenty of YouTube
not a
channels
coder.
that I've referenced to build that.
So, well, that's amazing that you did all that. And it works with your Roomie remote and
It
everything.
all is connected together.
That is amazing.
So I can turn on, so one of these activities on Roomie, since that is integrated into Siri, I can say, hey, S lady, start watch Netflix in the theater, and
unfortunately, I'm unable to perform that task.
and it'll do it. Normally it'll do
She
it.
knows when you said
stop
S
asking
lady.
her- stop
She knew
asking
who
her
you were
to do
talking
weird
to.
things, Mitch.
Like, say my name, say my name.
Right. So I can just if I want to use my voice, I can just do that and pull up whatever I want to watch in whatever room.
Nice.
And the great thing about having all my movies on the network is I can pick up where I left off in whatever room. Whatever I want to watch is available on any screen in the house.
So you can say, S lady, I want to watch Netflix, and it'll pull it right up.
It will.
Okay. Yeah, I know that Josh AI was the new Josh AI that's out. It gets pretty intricate like that to where you can say, Josh, turn on Yellowstone. Is that something that you could do also?
Not as easily, no. It doesn't have the sophistication that Josh has, and I would really love a Josh system because that would be better. This, you kind of have to know the syntax and speak the correct syntax, kind of like you do for Amazon. You can add different phrases to do a similar thing, but the problem is you still have to have your word choice correct, because if it's too similar to something else, another device you have in the same system, it won't know what you're really talking about. So like a lamp and a light, those are considered to be the same thing. So I can't say turn on the lamp, because then if you have more than one light source in your room, it'll turn all the freaking lights on.
I
So
see.
you have to kind of specify a little bit.
Yeah. Like turn on Barcade. I have that.
Right.
Set up. And then
Right.
it'll be, and then I have turn on theater, and it'll know, oh, okay, all these devices you have grouped in the theater, boop, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oftentimes I'll use my voice to turn the whole theater system off too, because a lot of times if I AirPlay to the speakers, it turns everything. It turns the receiver on so I can AirPlay, but then I don't necessarily remember to shut it off. So I have a good night button next to my bed that if I press that, it'll turn off everything in the house. Or I'll, if I remember, I'll just use my voice and say, turn off theater, and it'll turn everything off.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never even thought of something. Just a good night, because you can program whatever. It's just like all off or whatever. But yeah, that's a good one. Just good
Well,
night.
the whole automation thing started with the lamp in my bedroom, because when it's wintertime and it's a little bit chilly and you're going to bed, you turn the light on so you can get ready to go to bed, and you get yourself all nice and cozy in your bed. Who the heck wants to get out of a cozy bed to turn the stupid light off because it's cold for the few seconds that you need to do so? So why not automate it so you can use your voice or a button to turn the light off? Then you don't have to get out of a cozy bed to do what you need to do.
That was
Yep.
what the clapper was for back in the day, right?
Yeah,
Right.
the clap. I have, yeah, I
That's
haven't
that's
gotten
why
into
you
the
have
full
kids, man. You have kids so you
automation.
can send
Yeah.
the kids to go turn off the light, man.
It's another rabbit hole I'm afraid of, It's like now I'm into 3D printing stuff, so I'm doing that.
It is. And so, some of this stems from other problems that people seem to have. So, when people go to take a shower, half the time people don't remember to turn on the fan, the exhaust fan. So I have a temperature and humidity sensor in the bathrooms that when the shower runs and the humidity rises above a certain percentage, it turns the fan on, and then it'll turn the fan off once it goes below a certain percentage. So you don't even have to think of it. It just happens. And then I've got a Tempest weather station in the backyard that feeds all the weather and lighting information into Home Assistant, so that when the light level drops below, let's say 4,000 lux, it'll automatically turn on the living room lights. The same with the kitchen lights to have a little bit of lighting going on. And then if it's a storming out and it gets dark, the lux level drops, the lights come on. But then once the storm has passed and we're back to sunny skies and it's bright outside again, we don't need the lights on, so it'll just turn them off. That sort of thing.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a side chat, because I need this in my life. So
one of my favorite things is the garage door opener. So using Home Assistant, the app on my phone, when I start to arrive home, it automatically will open my garage door. If I leave home and my garage door is open, it will automatically shut the door. So I don't have to mess with it at all.
So there's like a GPS that shows.
You can turn
it
on
uses the location
based.
services on
Yeah.
your phone
Yeah.
and you can set a particular zone so that when you leave it or enter it. And Home Assistant has a CarPlay app now, so if you have CarPlay in your car, you can control your entire house from your car if you were so inclined to do that.
Get the
It's
theater
pretty cool.
ready for the date night, man, as you're pulling up to the house. If you're
Yeah,
lucky enough.
I could do
Nice.
that.
It's like, he's 2 minutes away. Turn the theater on. Turn the mood lighting on.
Yep, get the house temperature ready and all kinds of
Yep.
stuff. Yeah, the possibilities with automation are endless, but the fact that all of the audio video gear integrates into that, like I know what input the Marantz is set to. I know what input the NVIDIA Shield is on, or the Apple TV, so I could create automations based on those if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're definitely learning a lot and all the possibilities that that's the type of thing that may get me into doing it, but I'm gonna hold
Yep.
off a little bit because
It's
I
a
know
rabbit
once.
hole.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. Like, I don't want because I've been printing stuff for fundraisers at a school that like nonstop since I've gotten a couple printers, and it's just like anything. Once you get into it, it's like you scratch the surface, and then you're like,
Yep.
oh, I could also do
So
this.
there's
Oh,
also a Windows app to Home Assistant as well, so that I have it set so that when the washer and the dryer are done, or so I have a LoRa based system for outside. I have sensors on my two gates, and I have a motion sensor in my mailbox, which is across the street. It's in one of those junction mailboxes, so that when the mailman comes and opens the door, I know when mail has arrived, because I hate going all the way out there only to have no mail or junk mail. So I just when the door is opened and the motion is detected, I get a notification on my phone, on my watch, and if I'm on my computer, I'll get a little system tray notification that either there's mail in the mailbox, the washer's done, the dryer's done, whatever you need.
This guy has thought
Yeah,
of everything, man.
I know, right? Yeah, but Mitch, this has been great. You can join us back now on your phone, and we don't just have you sitting
Yeah,
in the
let
media
me.
room. So you
I'll
can,
flip my camera back around. I'll probably lose you for a little bit because
yeah, just join back,
a
and
bug.
we'll add you back on. That's fine.
All right, I'll be back in just a second here.
Yep.
yeah,
And
that
the-
is amazing. I like a lot of that.
That is huge. That is a lot of work. I can't even imagine.
I bought
Yeah.
this tablet just to do the Home Assistant, and I just kept it sitting after a while because I was like, this is just plenty of work, man. But
It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of
now-
installation and dialing in and programming.
So one of the most recent things that I added was maybe a year and a half ago was this air purifier here. I don't know if you can see it, that air purifier.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit noisy to have run while you're watching a movie. So this is a smart air purifier. Well, guess what? That sucker is also integrated into Home Assistant. So when the Marantz
I just
is
looked
on
at mine.
any input, or actually I have it set so when the projector is on, it will set the fan speed on the air purifier to really low so that I can't hear it. Because right now, with the projector off, it's on medium fan speed, and I can kind of hear it a little bit. And I don't necessarily want that when I'm watching a movie, so I just integrate it into Home Assistant. When the projector is powered on, it turns the fan speed down. When the projector is powered off, it
You got
resumes it.
everything on Home Assistant. Is your girlfriend AI? Is there like a bot in the other room? It's like,
Home
hey,
Assistant is amazing. I was Apple HomeKit for the longest time, and then I grew away from the functionality that it could offer. Like I needed so many different kinds of conditions and stuff, and it can do a lot of things, but it couldn't do what I really needed it to do. And I was resistant to Home Assistant for a little while, but once I started to jump into it, I'm like, okay, this is
who makes
definitely the way to go. Plus, I can put all that stuff back into HomeKit because it's got a home bridge type of integration into it. So if you have something that's not a HomeKit device, but it will work in Home Assistant, you can bridge it over to HomeKit.
So
Also,
who
the same goes for
is
Alexa
it
and Google. If you
or
have
is that-
something that you want
No,
in
it's just-
Google or Alexa, and it's not normally a thing, Home Assistant will bridge it right to it.
Home Assistant is its own thing.
So its own
Yeah,
thing.
it's a different demon on its own.
home. It is home. If you just type in Home Assistant, it'll bring up the.
Now,
Yeah,
are you
it's an app and everything.
using eyes or anything like that for this?
What's that?
Are you using any Raspberry Pis? Because I know
No, my Home Assistant. So the whole house runs off of virtual servers. So I've got a HP Z840 with 256 gigs of RAM and 8 terabytes of NVMe solid state storage. I basically run an enterprise enterprise network in the house. I've got a Windows domain controller, a system center server for patching. I've got a media server, Plex server. I've got a bunch of Ubuntu servers for various things. One of the Ubuntu servers runs the UniFi controller. And then Home Assistant is its own virtual machine. So everything's a virtual machine running on a single host.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I have mine running on a dedicated machine, just sitting somewhere under my desk, one of those small PCs you can buy from Amazon. And it's a virtual machine, so you just have it running on there.
You're talking about one of the mini PCs that you can buy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need, as long as you have at least enough memory, right?
Mitch is talking about probably ESXi or VMware, where he's running like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Files.
So right
Yeah.
now, my hypervisor is Windows Hyper-V. I'm a Windows
Okay.
system
Oh,
administrator.
really?
So,
How? Oh, man. Just the
Yeah.
thought of Windows makes my.
yeah, I mean, I grew up on
I'm like,
Windows,
really?
so it doesn't bother me. But I'm a
Okay.
Windows system admin, so it's kind of
Oh,
But the thought
okay.
of
Okay.
converting it to Proxmox has, got my ideas going, because I can do
Gotcha.
GPU
Okay.
pass through. I mean, I am doing GPU para virtualization right now in Hyper-V with one of my VMs, but you can do it's a little bit easier to do in Proxmox. So I may convert the whole setup to Proxmox at some point, but it's going to be a lot of work. So I'm not.
Oh God, yeah. And if your Windows, it's just like anything. If that's, so that's nothing for you. You're, that's what you do all day. So it's like, hey, but you can do ESXi for free. You can get your own one single. You just can't do any of the vMotion or redundancy or anything like that.
I can do that with Hyper-V too.
Yeah. That's what one of the companies I used to work for, that's what they actually used for all of their VMs internally. But
automated.
Part of the reason why I use that as well is I can easily spin up a virtual lab environment with PowerShell. I could just, have it create.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah, because I think with the ESXi, you don't need a host OS, right?
ESXi is the hypervisor that is
yeah.
bare metal OS.
Yeah.
Do they still have the free since Broadcom picked them up?
I think
I
heard that they were
licensing around.
Yeah, I heard that they were going to make some big changes in, like the non-enterprise versions of the software.
I think it might actually be going away for the free stuff.
Oh wow!
Or at least more limited to what it is now.
Joseph, do you guys have anything automated at your house?
I have 2 children.
Yeah, they work really well.
I have the ability. I just don't want.
Oh, I should also say my robot vacuum is also integrated into Home Assistant. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I have the garage that's Home Assistant capable. I have all my lighting, and obviously anything that's electronic with a web API interface, you can do. I just haven't. I just haven't done it. I'm, worked too close in security, and I was just like, one of these days. I mean, although I know my phone is, my most vulnerable device, and I'm on that 24/7. So
speaking of security, I have an Aruba enterprise grade switch. So I've got VLAN set up. There's multiple SSIDs and all that kind of fancy stuff.
Yeah, and you have to, and that's the other thing. You gotta, once you start doing that, you have to be security. Yeah, I run all UniFi and Ubiquiti.
What happened to just plugging some damn Hue lights in and using
and going? Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I don't do it. I'm like, no, it's like a mechanic. It's like I don't want to do anything that has to do with tech after work. It's just like
I'm the same way. I used to have a server farm, the whole deal, and now if I have to do anything, it's just
Dude, if I get off work and I have to struggle with my remote, I'm putting it down, man. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do anything tech.
Well, the
IT
good news
related.
is once you get everything set up and working, it generally just works. And I say generally because that's not
Yeah.
100% true, but it does make things easier, and it's
Apparently, you've not been in the home theater hobby that long. If you're saying it,
Obviously, he doesn't
and that's
use
why I say
HDMI
generally,
CEC at
because
all.
most of
I
the
know,
time
right?
I don't have problems, but there are the occasional times that there are problems. I'm not going to say it's no problems at all because there definitely is, but the benefits I feel outweigh the cons. You just need to take the time to do it properly.
yeah, the,
Yeah.
the situation that you explained with your girlfriend curling her hair, I can totally see my wife saying, "Unplug all this crap and just give me
Okay,
the switch."
so that right there sparked another automation because the girlfriend leaves the curling iron on and burns the dang countertops. So I have it set so when no motion has been detected in the bathroom for 20 minutes,
Turn off the
it
switch.
power cycles the outlet so that the stupid curling iron doesn't get left on.
Oh man, he is
Oh, man.
man.
I
Oh
feel like
man, well,
we're all gonna get in trouble by tomorrow.
yeah. I don't even want to comment on that one. I mean, like, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Or when you leave the house, if everybody's left the house and the curling iron outlet is still on for whatever reason, it'll just cut the power to it. I mean, we
Yep.
don't need to leave
That's
stuff
ingenious.
on, wasting energy and potentially melting the walls and countertops.
Yep.
So let's just turn it off.
Yeah, works. That's amazing. Yeah,
That's
great. Now,
That is
so that
the
means your
definition of
switches.
hardcore. Hardcore.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, until
So the
you
outlet
see a burnt
itself is
countertop from
smart.
a curling iron, you will quickly learn how to correct that problem.
Yeah. I have a burn from the previous owner of the house that I'm in that I'm like, yep, that's a curling iron burn.
Yeah, mine would be just don't use the curling iron. Can you straighten your hair, please?
Yeah, there you go.
You
So,
guys are trying to get in trouble, man. I'm out.
no, it's man. I so if you had to estimate to set up the roomie, just not all the automation that you had, but just to set up the roomie to control your theater with the curtain automation and the one button press to start the movie, start to finish, how long would you anticipate for a novice to be able to work out that series of events?
If you have never used it before, but you are somewhat computer savvy, I would give it a couple hours.
Okay.
Me, I could probably do it in, like right now, if I had to redo some of this stuff, I could probably do it in 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just curious if it was days, if it was, if it was
No, it's definitely, the more you want to do to it, the more time it's going to take. But it definitely is. It's not quick, but it's not super long. I would put it in the hours range.
Oh wow, yeah, that's to me.
Depending on how elaborate you want to get. If you only have a few activities and a few automations, you can definitely do it in under an hour.
Okay.
So it depends on how many devices, whether you want it to launch Netflix on your device, on which device, that
if
right
you want
there.
just the basic setup and have it automatically generate activities for you, which it will do, that doesn't take very long. You just add your devices. Adding your devices to it is just basically it scanning on the network. You can get that done in 5 minutes and have a basic automation an activity run. But if it's all the customizations, if you want to get rid of all the buttons that you don't need, if you want to add things turning off and on in a certain order, if you want to add lighting automation to that or anything else, that's when you start to get into the time constraints.
Yeah, because my issue is that my house, I guess my house was built in 2015, 15 or 18. I can't remember, but they must have thought that everything was going 100% Wi-Fi because I only had one Ethernet drop in the whole house. So I don't, and I'm in Florida. The walls are block walls, and there's literally no room. They build the drywall out on a 1/4 inch furring strip, just enough to nail it the drywall to, or
So I
screws.
bet that kills Wi-Fi in your house.
Yeah. So it trying to fish that wire down the wall, and it's a 2-story too, so that makes it even more difficult. So I don't have attic access, so a lot of my stuff would have to be set up Wi-Fi. The home theater gear, I have the modem actually built into the closet, so I can put a switch and everything else right there, so the Control 4 would be able to connect to it just fine with the internet right there. But looking at, I guess obviously your curtain closer is Wi-Fi, right? That's
Yeah,
that
it
would
is.
be a Wi-Fi. What else? What else is your Hue
Actually,
light?
no, I take that back. The curtain closer is running off of Zigbee, and
okay.
it's an Aqara device. So those are off Zigbee protocol.
I see. Yeah, because not a lot of us have the ability to have everything hardwired. I know. Some of the stuff that you have it's a mixture, right? It's between hardwire and Wi-Fi for your devices.
I like the
Yeah,
fact
well,
that
I
you
mean,
do the
according to the
repeater.
Unify app, I have 61 devices on my Wi-Fi right now.
Okay.
So, but split between the upstairs and the main floor access point, I've got 25 upstairs and 36 devices on the main floor access point. So there's quite a bit of Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
but pretty much
I just
everything
installed the
else that
Wi-Fi
has
7.
a wire. What's that?
I just installed the Wi-Fi 7, the Deco Wi-Fi 7 routers.
Yeah,
And
Ubiquiti just came out with their Wi-Fi 7 access point, but I'm waiting until they get the,
Final
I feel like
standard.
they could have a, yeah. So right now theirs has a 2x2 radio, and all the stuff that I've got now is the access points are all 4x4 capable. So I'm waiting for them to come out with a beefier Wi-Fi 7 access point. But at the same time, I don't have any devices that are Wi-Fi 7 compatible. Maybe if I get a new phone, it'll be Wi-Fi
Right.
7. But I mean, Wi-Fi 6E is so incredibly fast.
Yep.
It's the access points have a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet uplink. I've got a 10 gigabit switch that's routed into the server. So I mean, I've got 10 gig capable if need be. I can pull pretty much gig speeds over Wi-Fi. It's
Yeah.
not a problem with 6E anyway.
Yeah, up in my bedroom where I have the third mesh device, I'm pulling just like 1.2 gigs Wi-Fi to hardwire. So and then in my downstairs, which isn't that far from the main mesh, I was getting like 1.8 gigs going Wi-Fi to hardwire. And in my office where I'm doing the stream, I'm getting almost 4 gigs, or a little almost 5 gigs. Excuse me, like
Who's your internet provider? Do you have what's your service speed?
AT&T 5 gig up and
Okay,
down.
you have the 5 gig plan. Okay.
I know I don't need it, and Paul's told me so.
We've changed this broadcast into a IT
Tech show, right?
IT talk.
Hey,
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows this is unscripted. We just go with the flow here. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
it's amazing. Like I really
my
like
IT
some of the things.
background, it's all integrated into the theater anyway. So the two kind of commingle.
Yep. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
almost
Absolutely.
everyone on here is in IT in one way or the other. So
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much. So that
Yeah,
tells you the type of nerds that get into audio.
I just appreciate all the work that you put into that, into the
Yeah,
automation
that's
system.
amazing.
I mean,
It
I'm
didn't
sure,
happen overnight.
yeah, I'm sure it's not days, not hours. I'm sure it's months and months of getting it planned and worked out, especially to the degree that you've got it worked out at. So, Mr.
Yeah.
Giles, what you working on over there for your up and coming videos? What you got coming up?
Oh gosh. All right. So I have some gear from Next Level Acoustics. So I've got their 10-inch in-wall sub and a big sound bar. What's that?
I said I've been talking about that.
Don has been talking about it, man.
Yeah, I've been talking about that sub because when I do build a theater, I have space on my 90 degrees to put those two subwoofers.
Right on.
And I know that Todd from AV Nirvana reviewed it and gave it really, really rave views. So I'm very interested in that. I went to the Florida Expo. I saw Next Level on the program, but it wasn't Next Level Acoustics. It was Next
Oh
Level
yeah, it was the hi-fi company.
Hi-Fi company. Yeah. And I was excited to go there because I wanted to talk to them about possibly get my hands on one of those subwoofers. So I don't know, maybe you might have to turn me on to your contact after you're done with that thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of contacts there. It's a pretty lean and mean organization, but yeah, I'm happy to put you in contact with them. And I'm working on that. That'll be coming out soon. All right, let me look around. I've got the new Onkyo. What is it? The 70 version. I forget the model number.
RZ,
The RZ70. Yeah,
Yeah.
the new RZ70. So that's in. I've got the Premiere or Primaire, however you say it, SPA 25.
Oh man.
So that's in for review. I'm going to do a video where I upgrade an original Storm version 1 processor. Because one of the things I've always talked about is if you want to really make an investment in home theater, the AVR is one of those things where you buy it and then the technology gets old and you have to buy another one. Technology gets old, and I call it the kind of conveyor belt of home theater gear. You put it on, eventually it's going to fall off on the other end. But with devices like that, you can upgrade the HDMI boards and you can upgrade the logic boards, the processing boards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to do a video where I upgrade that, and I've got it sitting over there. And I just got a new video board for it in the mail today. So I'm going to go and build that content out. I've got a pair of Focal speakers I'm going to do. I've got a pair our left, right, center coming in from Atlantic Technology to do a video about. Got a laptop from Lenovo to do a video about. And this is the sad part. So here's like my list of stuff to do. Gosh, I've got the Galleon amp. It's a nice tube amp that I'm going to review that. I got to make some content for cell phone stuff. I've got the new KEF 15-inch sub. The Cube is coming in, and I'm going to do that. And I've got their new wireless speakers. I forget the model, but it's the little ones. It's not the big ones, but whatever that is, the little ones to do. See, this stuff kind of gets stuck in my head, and then I forget things a lot. It's like overwhelming. So I've got the new Eversolo. So that's really, really cool. I got to do the Weem amp, a video for that.
You got your hands full, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, and I got a pair of Focal bookshelf speakers that used to be the new model, their lowest end thing, and I haven't done it. And now they released the new Evos, at CES. So it's like now they're like old news, but I still want to do a video about them because they're really good. That reminds
me of the R-Volution video I did. I dropped it the day that the 8K player was coming.
It's hard to keep up with everything. And like I was saying earlier, I got the two AverMedia video capture cards to do. I bought that is a newer Lee & Lee case, a PC case, and it's the one with I think glass on side, front, and top. It is gorgeous, and they're new fans. So I hate RGB fans, and I hate them because you have to cable them up, and the cabling is just horrendous, right? Well, their new fans kind of like click together, so you could like put 3 fans in a row, and you only have to run one set of wiring to them, and it's brilliant, right? So I bought this stuff, and it's still sitting in the box upstairs in the dining room. So I'm going to do a video where I upgrade my PC for that. Yeah, there you go. Projectors are dead. You like that? Is that menacing enough? Let's see. What else have I got going on? I think that's everything I can think of off the top of my head. I'm going to go and do a hi-fi show in Malaysia. So it's AV North, and it's going to be on Penang Island in Malaysia. So I'll be there just before Expona, and then I'll cover Expona. I'll be at Cedia as well. I think those are the only shows. Oh, the home entertainment show as well. Yeah, that's like probably the next 6 months of my life that I just
Right.
that I put up for you.
Yeah,
And then
you
every
are going to
Tuesday
be
live
busy.
stream.
You are going to be really busy, man.
Yeah, and what days did you say you're doing your live stream?
It's every Tuesday at 7 Mountain. So that's 8 Central, 9 Eastern, and 6 Pacific.
Do you go on for like 4 hours like this?
I
like
do
this
not
show?
go on for 4 hours like this.
Okay. I was gonna
It's
say, man,
usually-
I
it's
have
usually
a
about
beer
1 hour.
limit that I set for this one. I'm like, okay, guys, let's see here. Yep, my
Yeah,
cooler's empty.
I do 1 hour, and let me see. Let me look and see if I can see the upcoming list of folks here. Yeah, here we go. I think I can double click that. All right, so what is the date? 37. So I just had Roger Fortier from Hi-Fi Man Headphones. Next week I've got Mark and Liz from Expona. The week after that I got Roy Felstein from Record Turntables. On the 26th I've got an exec from Samsung Sound coming in to talk about sound bars. Then Jerry Bloomfield from Falcon Acoustics, then Nick Brown from SVS, then Jack Sharkey from KEF. Then the week after that, I'm going to do this thing called the Indie Autonomous Challenge. So Paul Mitchell, he came on last year, and he's going to talk about scaled down F1 autonomous vehicles and racing those. That's going to be pretty cool. Then David Solomon from Cobuzz, then a guy, Rich Schmidt from ANC Future. Guys probably aren't familiar with that, and I'm not either. Then Kurt Blakeney from Linexura. They make home automation controllers, and I don't know a lot about it, so we'll learn about that. Then One More Headphones. Then an AR glasses company, then Blacklight, which makes computer accessories and furniture and stuff. Then Onkyo will be on after that. Then I'm on vacation, and then later in the year, GSG Audio, Kaleidoscape, Storm Audio
And it's
will be
Christmas.
on.
You
So-
are busy, man. That's
Yeah,
that's
so-
great.
I think you just rolled off like 20 weeks of the year or maybe more. So you definitely got some stuff planned out there. Make sure you guys subscribe.
That's
to-
all I've got scheduled now. So that takes us through middle of the year. So, and I one of the things I'm trying to do is to get a guest host for every one of those nights as well, right? And rotate through guest hosts, because that, I think it just adds so much to the show to have a few more people like you do it, right? I think you do it the right way. And you can have some additional points of view and that kind of stuff, and it helps with the banter. So I'm really looking forward to having guest hosts on. So if anybody wants to guest host, or just reach out to me, and I'll send you my sign up sheet, and it's got all the schedule and all the guests. And if there's one that you kind of like, oh, I would like to guest host when so and so's on or whatever,
Yeah, you'll have to
more
send
than
that out.
Hey, sign me up. I'll hop on.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you need someone to talk, me or Don we don't stop talking. We
Yeah.
trample over each other all the time.
yeah, but I
And
stick
as
to
you can tell, I don't stop listening. So
I'm an hour and done though. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Cut it off.
good.
I can
Yeah.
follow some guidelines if I have to.
Yeah, right.
Don's like, I don't need no rules. I don't need no.
So are any of you guys going to Expona or the Home Entertainment Show or Cedia? What's everybody's show schedule?
So I
I
think
was looking at Expona, but
Joseph is going to Expona also.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Yeah, I have
I'm
Expona on my
waiting.
list.
Yeah.
But the first
got
show
it.
I'm going to is Montreal Audio Fest, which is close to me. So their 35th anniversary this year. They've got a really, really good party planned.
That's awesome. We should all get together if a lot of us are going to be at Expona, that'd be
I would
cool.
like
We'd
to
all
go.
have a drink.
Oh yeah.
this
Well,
year sounds like
whenever
it's
you're
gonna be
in
a really
Kansas
good one.
City, when you're in Kansas City, you better bring an extra liver because just ask the guys. I had them out every night.
Nothing wrong with that.
So
That's awesome.
we were bouncing from brewery to brewery. Not your regular. I don't do the regular. Let's go drink all night. No, it's like, oh, you go to multiple 2 or 3 a night and get a different taste of different people's perceptions of beer and an atmosphere as well. So I thought it was pretty fun. So, and I think everyone enjoyed it until some people were like, I gotta check out. I gotta get up. I was like, yeah, I hear you. I don't blame you. So, because we were out pretty late a few nights, but it's all for fun.
A good host. Yeah, he did a fantastic job of showing us around the town and making sure that we, without even asking, so he very hospitable host and just showed us all around Kansas City. It was definitely great to have him as a tour guide.
Oh yeah, and I mean we were fighting over like who was paying the tab because usually we'd have like quite a few people. It was probably like sometimes like 6 people, right? So it wasn't like like, oh, you're taking out you and your girlfriend. This is like there were 6 people and we were it's like we'd take turns. And it was funny because Scott pulled a fast one on me that I was like, man, that was pretty good because I had paid the tab and I had to go use the restroom. And then somehow Scott walked up to the waitress and says, hey, does that card say Paul on it? And she was like, yeah, it does. He said, that's no good. And then he swapped the cards. Yeah, I was like, all right, that was pretty good. That was pretty smooth.
He was like, get me a beer, and I was like, let's get him the one with the most alcohol content.
Yes, I did do that. I was like, oh, you want me to choose? Okay. I was like, I know exactly. Oh yeah, 22%. That's a good beer for you.
22% beer. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't mess around, man.
That's like 44
You're gonna have me
proof.
choose. I'm gonna choose one.
Yeah, it was like a dark chocolate beer or something like that we got.
Yeah, it was actually, this one was one of the places where we were actually a calmer night. So it was actually just a bar. It wasn't an actual brewery. So they had they had 4 different sections of on tap brews that were a lot of local brews and then other popular brews. In each section they had like your stouts and porters, your pilsners and sours and kolsches, and then just each little different section of it. And we was like, let's see, how stout are their stouts? And yeah, one of them was like
Nice.
super high. It tasted really good, but it was actually Scott SC Audio that was the one that said, choose it. So it was funny because probably halfway through he was like, this is a really strong beer. I was like, yeah, you said choose. So then we dropped the bomb on him and told him, and he was like, oh God, no wonder. So we were just having fun. It was, and that was the night where we were only out for a little bit. So
So Giles, can we get you to commit for first week in March to come back on and show off your home theater tour on the 4th?
First
Or
week in
Let
March
me.
or
I can look at
April?
my calendar and I can tell you one way or another.
yeah, man, we'd love to have you back on to show your theater off and what you got going on over there. I'm
Sure.
sure
You can see my ripped apart thing.
He's like me. I wouldn't know what day it was without a calendar. Like me and
Which day was that? March? Which one?
No, April 4th, I believe. He
April
meant
4th.
April.
Sorry, April 4th. Yeah,
Hang on.
April 4th, 11th, 18th, one of the Thursdays. You
Yeah,
choose.
we have April pretty much
11 is going to
open.
be Expona, I believe.
Yeah, 11th. I will
11th
be in
is
Expona on
Expona.
the 11th, but April 4th. Heck yeah, I'm going to put it on the calendar right now.
Awesome, man. We definitely appreciate you joining us tonight. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Joseph, what do you got coming up on your channel over there? Can you share the screen here for those that don't know Joseph's channel?
Yeah, let me do that.
Careful which screen you share now.
Oh, boy.
Most
too
people that
early for
know
all
all
that.
3 or even 4 or 5 of my channels know that they're not all safe for work.
Close the porn
That's
tab.
why I've aptly dubbed my channel name the After Hours Audio, because I need the kids to go to bed first before I start to talk about my topics.
Yeah.
Audio
So what do you got coming up? You got anything interesting coming up with your show? You mentioned possibly getting rid of a lot of high.
Montreal is the next big thing planned. That's on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th weekend. The thing about me is I don't use this calendar. If something comes up that week and I feel like I can accomplish it in the next couple of days, then I just do it randomly. So I have the opposite of a consistent schedule. I sort of need the fans that I can accumulate to subscribe and like notifications, because it might just come on randomly and you have to keep coming back to find out if you missed something.
Right.
It's rather specific, and I understand that most people don't operate that way. They have schedules, everything is a certain timeline, hour, this and that. I mean, I went on live on Instagram for 4 hours with a couple of guys from the UK, all randomly because they were in the audience and they just decided to stick around. So that video is actually uploaded on the YouTube channel now.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and check that out. So for those of you that aren't subscribed, which Giles, congratulations on the over 100K subscribers. Also, I think
Thank
you're
you.
at 109. So
109.8 and some change. Yeah.
Yeah. So what a feat that is. I know you put in the hard work for that. What's that? Probably 900 videos or 700 videos, something like that.
No, I can tell you what it is, and this is kind of funny. So I really think my channel is like a 30 or 40,000 subscriber channel, but I had a short that did 33 million views.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't even about home theater. I was just messing around because everybody was like, "Hey, if you do YouTube Shorts, you can get a lot of subscribers that way." I was like, "Nah, that doesn't work." And so I just posted up some stuff, and I posted one. Yeah, I'm not 33000, right?
Wow.
It was ridiculous. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, you'd look at it and you'd refresh, and every time you'd hit the refresh button, it'd be like 10,000 views. And I'm like, this is how the other side lives. Right. And I'm all like, these people that get like, lots and lots and lots of views. I'm like, they're used to this stuff. I've never had anything else like that since. And I deleted it off because it's completely irrelevant to the channel, but I got a ton of subscribers off that. So, and like Michael just did, this was a couple of months ago. He had a multi-million, I think, view short, which was relevant, which is good for him. But that's, I mean, you guys should try some shorts. All right. I mean, if you get one
of the
I've done just
that was an audio advice live, right?
Yeah, I've done like little beer little like where I'll go and little shorts just on Instagram and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'm like, this is like literally a 4-second clip that's gotten like 500-600 views in like
Yeah, I like that.
minutes. I'm like, what? Like, like you can't even
I'm
see
really
anything
surprised
in
the
this.
shorts do that well because I like the full length contents type of stuff, and I typically don't even watch any of the shorts.
Yeah, see, like I said earlier, I kind of start to see myself migrating towards TikTok, just the faster content, so I can flip through it quicker. And if it doesn't hold my attention for a certain amount of time, I'm just moving on to the next
Well,
one.
what I would think is interesting is for you guys that are getting like some products where you're getting overwhelmed with products and you're like, okay, which ones do I do? Which ones do I like to do? Do the short like unboxing and then ask like, oh, wait, what questions or what do you want to know about this product? And then once you get all those questions, then make your full length video targeted towards the audience.
What do you think about this idea? I was thinking about because filming and editing and cutting and put it all together. I mean, to make a 8-minute video can take you all day long, right? I mean, it's like a whole day gets shoved into this one video, and I need to be more productive than that. I was thinking about doing an additional live stream where I unbox and do product setup just during the live stream, and that's the content for that thing, whatever
Yep. And you don't have to edit it or nothing. Yep.
And that's right, just do it. And would people watch that, you think?
That does work on a lot. I don't know if that would work with
I
audio,
know.
but it does work with a lot of other content.
Zeos Reviews already does that, and he has like 4 channels. So he's taken some of his audience that subscribes on his main channel, and some of those have moved over to his unboxing channel, and it's basically the same thing. And then another channel of his is all streaming. So he'll stream live to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And then he's got certain tiers of followers that are able to chat and he'll respond to them. So if you're a free viewer, he doesn't answer you. But if you subscribe or you're following at another thing, then he can answer those questions. He can feature you on screen. I mean, he's not everybody's flavor, but he's definitely one of my favorite because that's the way he's always done stuff. Puts a camera
very
on,
entertaining.
clicks record, and just lets it go, and then turns it off, and that's it. And that's the way I've been building my audience, is inviting people in, having it live and interactive. Giles joins sometimes at night when he's not busy, but it's easier than editing. I don't have the time to be editing anyways. I'm not a cinematographer. I have no interest in directing. I just want to share and be part of my audience's conversation. So everything is live and interactive as best as I can do it, which is why I don't have a schedule, because I never know when I'm going to have time to do those things. But each time I'm live, I want to bring up something relevant. Like in this instance, I hear the idea of 33 million views and lots of subscribers, and my sort of argumentative nature, which some people would say is a bad thing, is to ask for the interest of companies. Well, how many of these numbers equals sales? I mean, it's a good thing to have numbers. You want to have eyeballs on your product, but how much of these numbers in media really translate to increased business? They're concerned. I've had stores say, well, we're not going to do a lot of media or this and that because the return for audiences or viewers coming into the store is 0. We don't see that traffic. That's just an online social media number. It doesn't mean much for our store in that kind of way. So I'm interested in how to get enough lure or attention or attraction and generate like authentic interest to go to a store, to spend time with dealers, to actually bring people into the shops, because that's what these stores are really going to need. Being entertained is pretty easy. We can say, like a small clip, 20 seconds, can get eyeballs, but how do you get them to the shows? How do you bring more people to M-Wave and Expona? How do you get people into the stores so dealers have the opportunity to speak with them? That kind of thing is what I'm interested in, which is why I keep it interactive.
Yeah, conversion rate. I definitely understand what you're saying there.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And if you're a brick and mortar place and you're trying to get someone into that type of deal, it's more about networking, reaching out, creating events, and even
you know,
even if they're just online.
honestly, what you're asking is just sales 101, right? So you know that, and this is my background, right? And so you know that it takes you 20 people to make one sale.
Mhm.
You gotta hit, you gotta hit 20 sales, right? So now you gotta present to 100 people to get to those 20 sales, right? So it's just sales 101 basically.
Mhm.
Is you have to know how many people you have to reach, how many views you have to have in
Yeah.
order to generate that one sale, and
Mm.
then that way you can show that particular number to whomever you're trying to present to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a different kind of analytic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and you gotta, learn how to, word things right. You don't say like, "Oh, I have one video that got 1 million views." You say, "Oh, hey, out of, my career, I have, 20 million, views." You don't just brag about the one, because
The
Right.
one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
it's all
Yeah.
about perception and a lot of things. You don't have to lie, but you want to just give your best perception on what, because especially when in marketing, or, if you're trying to sell yourself, you got, 5 seconds. If it doesn't make them go, "Oh, what?" If you hear
Mm.
1 million, they're going to be like, they're not even going to blink their eye.
Yeah,
You
but
hear,
but
they
but
hear
at the
30
end of the
million, they're going to be
day,
like, "Huh?"
at the end of the day, though, social media is still a way cheaper
Oh
marketing
yeah.
than paying an
Big
actual marketing company for many of these companies, man.
Well, yeah, because a
Right.
lot of it is just people reaching out, because it's how the world works
Because
now. It's not.
hardly would any marketing
Yeah,
company take your product to 10 million people
yeah,
without you paying some serious money for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Very
definitely
funny.
valuable. It's an interest for me to network more, which I have. My strong suit now has been photography and presence, and doing the live seems to have an audience. A lot of the brands and owners and those kinds of people, now I go to shows that they recognize me and we talk about content and that kind of stuff. So I've, instead of it being social media success, I've gained access behind the curtains. I just had a tour at a factory in Toronto just because I met the owner at a retail store. So I'm now rubbing shoulders with owners and designers rather than it being my channel is blown up. So I'm my access and my work is actually going in a different direction, but it's also giving me the opportunity to listen and speak with them on those terms to find out what they're really interested in, what's really working for them, what
right.
actually translates for their interests. So I mean, I'm always up for calling names and helping everybody out, calling channel names and directing people to resources and connecting this person with that person. And if I'm not a good enough photographer to show and somebody wants some stuff, then I'll refer them to somebody else. And it's not, I'm never in this game to make myself successful. I'm more looking for how to connect the dots so the whole industry draws in more and everybody gets a little bit more success and that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you're having fun doing it, then it will eventually, either one, you'll just have fun doing it. And, if opportunities happen, in my younger days, I've had opportunities where I've been in locations and had parties and stuff, and I was literally just having fun. Where most of the time, everybody's just looking for something, "Oh, I
Mm.
want my next free this, I want my next that," right? But if you're genuinely into something and interested, people know that, and then
Mhm.
the doors open, and because they're like, "Oh, you're into this? Oh, I'm into that. Oh, let's talk," and then people are just having fun, and that's
Yeah.
where, like you were saying, the YouTube thing is a big thing, because everybody's meeting and just having fun. And I always have a different perspective than most people, and argue, and then not like argue to be like, "Oh, you're wrong." It's just, I'm more of, "Oh, well, what about this perspective, or what about
Mhm.
that?" Even though I know I come across as just, "Oh, I'm arguing to argue," but, and nothing that I say is like a personal. I might say, "Well, Giles said this, and I don't agree with that. I don't know what he said." It's nothing personal against
Well, it's because I'm mostly
First-
crazy.
Yeah.
Mostly.
There you go. It's never because, until I meet someone personally, I don't know. Now, because that's one thing, you can't, if you're a motorcycle salesman, they're never going to talk bad about motorcycles. You wouldn't do that. It doesn't make logical sense. No, and they may be, to one person the worst thing ever, but it's just like, well, it's the best thing ever to me and to all my customers, So not everything is for everyone,
Mm.
So, but we're all just, that's what I like about this group. We're just all hanging out and just chilling and
Yeah, and that's the
good
whole
time.
purpose of the show, as I keep mentioning. Look, if you want to pop in, pop out, stay for an hour, talk, come on, bring up a topic, by all means. Those of you that have been on the show prior, just you have the link. Pop in, pop out when you want. It just meant to be a free flowing, like a type of Zoom call with a one purpose, a home theater tour or some sort of topic that we're going to talk about. Nothing scripted. As you can tell, we talked about IT for about an hour and a half tonight.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm telling you, Mitch, I really appreciate all that you showed us tonight because there's
Absolutely.
so many little things that add up that really
Oh,
just
you guys are welcome.
they make so much. It's just amazing. I mean,
IT can
it's really
integrate with
cool.
home theater. They don't have to be separate.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely. Well, I want to. I think we're gonna wrap this up. Before we do, I definitely want to thank Mitch. I want to thank Kanga and Giles for joining us tonight. You guys, if you can hang on after we hang up here. For those that aren't subscribed to their channels, please make sure you go out and subscribe to Giles and Siphonic's channel. Same thing with us. We got Easy HT Tech and Horizon Home Theater. Please make sure you subscribe and like to that channel. Make sure you hit the bell so that you can see when we're going live. Giles, to answer your question, I definitely like the live unboxings. I actually did one of those about 2 years ago. I was one of the first persons to get my hands on the Zapedi reference, and man, that video did really well for me as a live unboxing, just covering stuff. So yeah, no, definitely appreciate you guys joining. If you would like to be a guest on the Home Theater Hub, please email us at hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. Next week, I'm going to give you guys a little teaser. 150 dBs, man.
Yeah, it can only be one thing.
Yeah,
I know what that is.
Next week, Scott and Kat, Living It with Scott and Kat. They'll be on to show their 150 dB channel. Any of you guys want to join us, please feel free to come and join us with Scott on the panel too. So until next Thursday, see you guys. Be safe.
Bye.
Later, everyone.